Welcome to Pioneer's Knowledge Hub.
Imagine this, you're far out at sea when suddenly your boat capsizes. What would you do? In the blink of an eye, a man's leisurely venture into the deep blue turned into a horrifying ordeal. A fierce storm, unanticipated and ferocious, had reared its ugly head, its monstrous waves tossing his small boat around like a toy. The man, an adventure enthusiast, found himself caught in this tempest, his boat eventually succumbing to the relentless onslaught. In no time the boat capsized, leaving him stranded amidst the roiling sea. His heart pounded like a drum, his breaths came in short gasps. Fear was a tangible entity, but so was his will to survive. As the storm passed, he found himself alone, the only sound being the relentless crash of waves against his overturned boat. His immediate reactions were a mix of panic and disbelief, but survival instinct quickly took over. The man, now alone and lost in the vast ocean, had to quickly adapt to this unforeseen predicament. The first few days were a battle against panic and despair. The initial shock of the situation would have been enough to send anyone spiraling into hopelessness, but our survivor knew that giving in to fear was not an option. His first instinct was to secure a basic shelter. Using the flotsam and jetsam around him, he created a makeshift haven that would shield him from the elements. Next, he had to ration the minimal supplies he had. His meager resources included a handful of energy bars, a couple of bottles of water, and a survival kit. Every morsel of food, every sip of water was carefully measured, consumed with the knowledge that it had to last. But perhaps the greatest challenge was dealing with the mental stress. The solitude, the silence, the vast expanse of water all around him, it was enough to break even the strongest of men. But he held on, knowing that survival was not just a physical battle, but an emotional one too. As days turned into weeks, he realized he needed more sustainable survival strategies. Adapting to the ocean's rhythm was the next challenge. The vast expanse of water, the ceaseless waves, the relentless sun, and the eerie silence were now the man's world. It was an alien environment, but one that he had to get accustomed to if he was to survive. The ocean was teeming with life, and it was here that he found his first source of sustenance. He learned to catch fish using bits of debris as bait and his bare hands as his net. It was a painstakingly slow process, but with each passing day he became more adept at it. His diet was now predominantly seafood, a far cry from the comfort foods he once knew. Yet, his body adapted, drawing the necessary nutrients from the marine life. Rain was both a bane and a boon. While the storms brought fear and uncertainty, they also brought fresh water. He quickly learned to capture as much rainwater as he could using every available container. This precious resource was rationed, each sip savored, each drop conserved. The elements were merciless. The glaring sun by day and the chilling cold at night tested his resilience. He fashioned a makeshift shelter from debris to shield himself from the sun and to retain warmth during the cold nights. He learned to respect the ocean and its moods, to listen to its rhythm, to anticipate its changes. Living in the ocean also meant living with its inhabitants. Predators lurked beneath the surface, but he learned to fend them off, using sharp debris as a deterrent. Each encounter was a reminder of his place in the food chain, yet it was also a testament to his will to survive. Adapting to the ocean's rhythm was not just about physical survival, it was about mental fortitude, about finding a sense of purpose, about embracing the solitude and the silence. It was about resilience and the indomitable human spirit. He was not just surviving now, he was living, albeit in the most unconventional way. Scene script. Months passed, and hope started to wear thin. Isolation can be a beast, gnawing at the edges of sanity, and when you're stranded in the middle of the ocean, it becomes an uninvited companion. Our man experienced this firsthand. He was alone, surrounded by the vast, unending blue. The eerie silence of the sea was broken only by the occasional splash of water against his makeshift raft, and the intermittent cries of distant seabirds. Each day was a mirror image of the last. He woke up to the same horizon, the same sea, the same solitude, but he had a routine, a daily dance with survival that kept his mind focused and his will alive. He'd fish in the morning, using the sun's first rays to spot his prey. Midday was spent repairing and strengthening his raft, a never-ending task in the face of the relentless ocean. But it was not all about mere survival. He found ways to keep his spirits up, to fight the creeping tendrils of despair. He'd tell himself stories, recite poems he remembered from his childhood, and sometimes, he'd even sing. His voice, carried away by the winds, was a testament to his endurance, a beacon of his unbroken spirit. He spent his nights staring at the stars, the only consistent companions in his solitary sojourn. They were his silent confidants, listening to his whispered fears, his dreams, and his hopes. The constant fear of death was always there, lurking in the shadows. But he didn't let it consume him. Each new sunrise was a victory, a testament to his will to survive. His life had been reduced to a series of sunrises and sunsets, of hope and despair, of fear and courage. But he held on, clinging to the thin thread of hope that kept him going. He knew he had to survive, to tell his story, to prove that even in the face of impossible odds, the human spirit can triumph. But his will to survive never faltered, and finally, after 438 grueling days, his resilience paid off. One day a glimmer of hope appeared on the horizon. That glimmer turned out to be a fishing vessel cutting through the vast oceanic expanse. The moment of rescue was nothing short of miraculous, a blend of disbelief and profound joy. He was finally safe, finally free from the relentless grasp of the ocean. His physical condition was a testament to the harsh nature of his ordeal. His body bore the marks of the sun and the sea, a stark reminder of the 438 days he spent adrift. The psychological impact, however, ran much deeper. The isolation, the constant fear, the fight for survival, they left a profound imprint on his psyche. Yet he did not let the experience break him. It forged him, made him stronger. He emerged from the ordeal not as a victim, but as a survivor. Against all odds he had survived. His story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit when faced with the most daunting of challenges.
Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.